Alright, now it's time to show you how the character animation works and how the BPS Rig version 4 works. Again, you can go online and search for Minecraft Character Rig Blender and you will be able to download a lot of free character rigs. But what I use and what a lot of people use is the Squared Media's BPS Rig version 4. So throughout this course, I'm going to show you how to use that rig. But if you use any different rigs, you can actually follow along nicely because most character rigs work the same. They just have different bones, different bone shapes, names, appearance. But mostly it's Minecraft character rig, so you're going to be fine if you follow with a different rig. But if you're a complete beginner, I recommend to download the BPS Rig version 4, get it from their Discord, and then follow along. First, let me show you how to import the rig. So there are multiple ways of importing assets, rigs, and objects in Blender, but what I like to do is go to File, Append, then access the folder where you have the rig saved. In my case, it's an organized workflow, rigs, and then click on BPS Rig version 4. Now open the first one, not the beta, but the first one. Then go to Collection. We need to select Collection from this menu. And then we need to select the BPS character rig. So double click on this. And there you go. We just imported the character rig in Blender. Now, first thing, we're in the solid view. So if you don't see the textures, again, click on this arrow and then click on the texture over here. If you're using old Blender versions, the texture should be here. Now that we enable the texture, click on Outline, disable this, and then disable Specular Lighting as well. So now we have the character rig imported. As you can see, it has a bunch of bones, it has the Steve skin applied to it, and it looks pretty nice and simple to use. So now let me show you how this works. Let me show you how to customize the BPS Rig version 4 further. So first of all, if I right click and select the outline, I'm going to be able to select the bone. When I select the bone outline, I'm inside the object mode. But I can click on Control Tab and then enter the pose mode. Or again, you can enter the pose mode from here. Now once I enter the pose mode, I have a bunch of controls. If I want to select the head bone, I can click on the outline of the head. The bone is pretty small. As you can see, it has a small square shape. But if I select it, I'm going to be able to select the head outline. Now again, I can press on R, G, S, and then do the same thing. Now I can press on arms as well. So select the hand, move it like this, rotate it forward, rotate the body, pelvis, torso, whatever. I can select the leg as well. But if you notice, when I try to rotate it, it doesn't work. I can do the same thing here, but it doesn't work. But if I want to move the legs on this rig, I want to select the bottom bones. So the bottom bones are these ones, these tiny squares. So if I select it, I'm going to be able to move it by G, rotate it with R, and then scale it with S. But scaling doesn't work because you don't really need to scale the leg. So again, I can press on G, Y, move it forward, G, Z, move it up and down, and rotate it side by side. Now, let me explain the difference between IK and FK, forward kinematics and inverse kinematics. So let me show you the difference by demonstrating it with the leg and with the hand. So the hands by default are in the FK, the forward kinematics, which means that I have to animate every single thing manually. So if I want to animate the shoulder, I need to animate the shoulder manually. So I'm going to select the shoulder and then move it on the side. Now if I want to animate the forearm, I'm going to select the forearm and then move it forward. But the legs are the opposite. The legs cannot be animated manually, right? The legs, I cannot animate the thigh, I cannot animate the calves. I can just select this bone. And then if I select this bone, everything is going to follow it. So when I press on G, everything is going to automatically bend with it. But that's not the case with the hands, because if I select this hand bone, for example, nothing's going to follow it. But there's an easy way to change that. I personally like to keep mostly using as it is on default. So I want to use FK, forward kinematics on arms, and then inverse kinematics on the legs. But let me show you how to change that. There's actually a way to change that. So to do that, what I can do is select one of the hand bones. For example, I'm going to select the left shoulder. Then press on N, and then make sure you're inside the item. So press on item, and then over here, we're going to expand the properties panel. So once you expand properties, you have IK to FK switch, right? From FK to IK. Now, by default, it's set to FK, like I told you, on forward kinematics. But if I want this to be switched to IK, I'm going to set this to 1. So I'm going to drag this and then set this to 1. You don't want to go in between. You either want to go 0 or you either want to go 1. Now, if you notice, once I press on 1, I get this new bone appearing over here. So let me show you the difference between the two. If I want to animate the hand, now I can no longer move it by shoulder and forearm separately. Instead, I can select the square bone, press on G, and now you can see the entire hand follows the motion. Now, sometimes this is useful in some cases, but I mostly use the FK pose. Now, you can do the same thing with the leg. So I'm going to select the leg bone over here. Now, the legs are the opposite. They're already set to 1, which means they're already set to IK, inverse kinematics. But if I want to switch to FK, I'm going to click this, turn this to 0, and now they're going to be switched to FK. Now you notice this bone appearance changes, this bone disappears, and now if I want to move forward, I can press on R, move it forward, and press on R, and then rotate this backwards like this. So yeah, this is one easy way to switch between IK to FK. But what I recommend if you're a beginner, just leave everything by default, and make sure you have FK on hands and IK on legs. Now, there are way more properties in the BPS Rook version 4, and before we jump into actual character animation, I want to show you how to customize the BPS Rook version 4 further. So, first, if you want to enable teeth, you can actually go to this mouth bone, and then go to properties again, item properties, and then enable teeth by setting the teeth to 1. Now, you don't see anything because if you want to open the mouth, you're going to use this bone. So let's select the square bone, and you can manipulate it by pressing G. So if I press on G, I'm going to be able to move it around. And now you can see my character has teeth. If you don't want teeth, again, select this and then set this to 0. And that's pretty much it. Now, if you want to change the appearance of the face, let me show you how to do that. So I'm going to press on Alt G to move it back. Now, let's say I want double pixelated eyes or one pixelated eyes, or if you want to change the skin or anything else, I'm going to show you how to do that. So first, if you want to change the location of the face, what you want to do is select this material icon on top. But if I'm in the pose mode, I'm not going to be able to select the material icon. As you can see, I'm trying to click on it, but it's not selectable. So what I want to do is click on Control Tab to go back to the object mode and then select the material icon. And now I'm going to be able to see a bunch of properties over here. Now there's actually a way to select the material icon where we're in the pose mode. So if I'm in the pose mode, for example, I can go to Edit and then click on Lock Object Mode and disable this. So this means that I'm going to be able to select other objects while I'm in the pose mode. So I'm going to select the material icon. So once it's selected, again, make sure you're in Item, Properties, and I have a bunch of options over here. So I can change the appearance of the eyebrows like this, make them appear or disappear. I can change the eyes. I can change the mouth. And if I drag this down, I can actually make the face disappear altogether if you don't want any facial expressions. Now I'm going to enable the face because I want to show you how to change different parts of the face. So if you want to change the face horizontally, you can do it like this. If you want to change it vertically, you can do it like this from the eye size menu. And then you can do this as well. Change the location. And then you can do a bunch of stuff with it. It depends on how your skin looks, basically. You can customize your skin based on how the Minecraft character looks. Then you can do the eyebrow size as well. Change it by different angles. Change the location as well. You can actually move it forward or backwards. You can make thick or thin eyebrows like this. So you can make your eyebrows either thick or thin. You can also go to face location and move it up or down. Some skins are like here, some skins are like here. It depends on the skin. And you can also enable the Alex arms or the slim arms. So if I set this to 1, I'm going to be able to enable the Alex arms. And that's pretty much it. So I showed you how to enable teeth, how to change the facial locations. I'm going to set everything back to default by clicking backspace button. So I'm going to backspace on everything and make sure it's back to default. And I also showed you how to switch from IK to FK. And lastly, I want to show you how to change the skin on the character. So if you want to change the skin, you can select the material icon on top, then go to the material icon over here and make sure you have the skin selected. And you can actually turn off the image from here and then change the skin from here. So I'm going to click on X and then turn it off. And then I'm going to press on open and then locate any skin I want. And now, for example, I located my own skin, which is called the wood plank skin. So if I double click on this, I'm going to be able to apply the wood plank skin. Now, one very, very important thing to note is that my skin, when I apply the skin in Blender, it doesn't have the eyes. Now, let me show you what happens if you apply the skin which has the eyes. Now, if I try to apply a skin which has its own eyes coming from a skin editor, you can see it looks weird, right? Because the BPS character rig has its own eyes applied to it, and the skin has its own eyes applied to it. So that's why it's important to go inside the skin editor and actually remove the eyes. And there are many, many skin editors out there. So I like to go to Neat Cool Shoes and then select this dropper, select my face color, and actually remove the eyes. And then download the skin without any eyes, pretty much. So that's an easy way to remove the eyes. And then make sure before you apply any skin in Blender, you have the eyes removed so that they don't look this weird and they look pretty proper and they look like this pretty much. Now, let me show you how to change the appearance of the eyes. For example, if I select the material icon, I have a bunch of options for pupils, eyes, and then eyebrows. So I can go to pupils, for example, select the right one, and then make it appear different. For example, like I said, green eyes, light blue eyes, and so on. If I want to, for example, hide the eyes, what I can do is select this eye bone over here, press on S, and then type 0, and now the eyes are going to disappear. So if you want to create a Herobrine look, that's an easy way. And while we're on the subject of eyes, if I set this to 0, for example, I can select the material icon again, go over here, and what we can do is select eyes instead of pupils, select eyes, and then click on emit right, and then set this to 1, and then click on emit left and set this to 1. And let me show you what this does. If I go to the rendered view, they're going to start glowing pretty much. So if I go to world properties and set the strength all the way to 0, you can see my eyes are going to start glowing. And that's a pretty cool feature if you want to create like glowing eyes in Blender and Minecraft animations. If I go to the material view again, instead of 1, I can just set this to something like 5 and make it glow even more. Set the left one to 5 as well and make it glow even more. And they're going to look pretty cool in the compositing when we apply the glare and all the other effects. And you can also change the appearance of the eyebrows as well. So select the eyebrows, you can make them darker, you can make them lighter, it's up to you. So that's one easy way to customize the skin. And by the way, one very, very important thing I forgot to mention is when you select the character and you try to move it, out of the box, the BPS trick comes with a weird glitch. So if you look at it, the head has a weird Z fighting flickering thing going on. And that's not what we want to see in our final render. And unfortunately, some people don't know how to fix that, but now I'm going to show you how to fix it. It actually has a pretty easy fix. So again, select the character, go to outliner, expand this, then expand the meshes, then go down, and then we need to find the head. So once you find the head, make sure to make it selectable. So I'm going to enable the selectable icon here. Now make the head selectable right over here. Then select the head, this one, the one which is glitching and which is flickering in a weird way. Now right click and then click on shade flat. Once it's shaded flat, now we can go back and make it deselectable. So now if I select the character and move it around, you can see there's no more Z fighting. There's no more weird flickering going on in the head. And that looks pretty neat. And it looks the way it's supposed to look. So that's a pretty cool, neat trick to fix that. Make sure you select the head, right click, shade flat, and that's it. Now, some people would actually like to use armor and add the armor on the BPS rig, or actually use the villager BPS rig. So if you want to do that, Eagle Studios is actually another Minecraft animation YouTuber who shares some amazing stuff that he creates. And he actually shared the armored BPS rig and also the Mojang villager rig and the other types of villager rigs on my Discord. So if you join my Discord, you can go here and then click on sharing assets, or alternatively, you can join Eagle Studios Discord and it will be there as well. And if you want to join the Squared Media Discord, you can join as well. And I believe he shared there as well. But if you want to join my Discord, it will be linked in the description of this video. So once you join, make sure to read the rules right here, then go to sharing assets, and then you can go ahead and download the armored BPS rig, or download the Mojang villager rig, or scroll down and see what other community members shared. You can go ahead and download that as well. So if you want to download, it's pretty easy. You can just click this post, for example, and then click on the download post. This is the old one and this is the updated one. So you can go ahead, download this, and then enable the armored collections over here. So you can have either all diamond or combined, for example, diamond, iron, chainmail, gold, and leather, and so on. So that's an easy way to do that. Now let's move on. I hope I showed you everything else with this rig. There are many things you can do with this character rig. It looks simple, but it's very effective. You can do a lot of stuff. So if you want to animate the face, you can animate it directly from here. If you want to animate the body, you can animate it from here. And if you want to animate the mouth, you can move it here. So move it outwards like this. Change the location like this. Enable the teeth from here. And you can actually animate the eyes blinking from here. Now, after this lecture, I hope you're ready to create a very basic breathing animation. The character is going to breathe and it's going to loop over and over again. So I will see you in the next lecture.